Questions today about criteria required to live in Manitoba housing. What is meant to be affordable government subsidized housing? Turns out, well, some tenants pull in more than $100,000 a year. CTV's Ben Milger shows us documents uncovered by the Canadian Taxpayers Federation.
A month. $6,790 a month, $7,000 a month.
I don't believe you.
Bridget Bedarv has a strong reaction to how much some of her neighbors could be making.
If I was making that kind of money, I wouldn't be here, you know.
Freedom of Information documents list the monthly household incomes of people living in Manitoba housing. One family makes more than $17,000 a month, another over $15,000. Over a 12-month period, those two families are each pulling in more than 130 grand.
You know, it's pretty surprising. I mean, you don't think of social housing as being in the business of putting a roof over the heads of high-income people.
The CEO of Manitoba Housing says tenants making a lot of money aren't necessarily getting a sweet deal.
Once they go over a certain income threshold of $57,000, then they go into a market rate.
In Winnipeg, Manitoba Housing sets its market rate for a one-bedroom apartment at $760. Although Manitoba Housing says most people who become high earners make the choice to move on, there's no policy in place forcing wealthier people out to make room for low-income families.
Oh, well, there should be a policy.
That's really ridiculous, though, that they're making that much just living in Manitoba housing. There's more other people who are struggling more, who need Manitoba housing.
Manitoba Housing says some of the high-income tenants may be in rural and northern communities where there are few other housing options.
We've introduced a rural home ownership program where we actually help our existing tenants migrate to home ownership, and so they purchase that unit from us.
The Taxpayers Federation would like to see more of that.
I mean, social housing is meant to give a hand up to people, not a handout.
Manitoba Housing says in Winnipeg alone, more than 150 units become available for low-income people and families each month. Ben Milger, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Manitoba Housing won't say how many people are on the wait list. It does not have rules that state high-income earners must give up their unit to a family in need.